Oh yeah, so the actual like theme is Hexad because I just played my last match against Zoc. And I lost to Zoc 2-1. That was a very cool match. At the very least, the first game, the noble that throws away Ash got to show off and have a dominating performance, so that was cool. So let's see. I ended up getting fourth, but I think it was also technically fifth because Daniel didn't play the match versus Karen, so that was a walkover. So even if Daniel had not, maybe I'm not sure exactly how the tiebreakers work. Let's see. Okay, so it's -3 and -4. So if Daniel won a single game versus Karen, then I would have been in fifth. Or if they had improved their key differential, then I would have also been in fifth. So not a very good performance for me overall. I guess I sort of deserved it because I didn't prepare for matches and stuff. And I just like looked at decks like a few minutes before the match. But I also think like that's not the end of everything. Like I totally could have won despite not having prepared. So I don't think that's everything. And a lot of the games, I guess I could have won. So it's not like I was crushed every time. So a lot of games like could have gone by my way, but didn't. Maybe there were a couple misplays here and there. But so I think though my lineup was weaker this time than it was last time. So this time I switched out my deck. I switched out Win for Aurora. So this deck is really awesome. It has like broken book of IEQ turns or LEQ turns. And it has key charge. So key charge is clutch. So this deck is awesome. But it can be if the book of LEQ doesn't come out early, then I think it doesn't perform as well. And I guess the creature control is like okay. It can get you by, but it can. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have the best creature control. I do like the creature control though. Quintrino Flux and Unnatural Selection is good. So and the combo features an artifact. So if the opponent has artifact control, then I feel like this deck is worse. And so I switched that out for this one. And I think ultimately I switched out for this deck because I was disappointed that my deck and Perez performs really poorly against decks that have lots of capture and exalting, like this sort of deck, because I had lost to like Faust the Great decks with that, and I was like, oh man, I can't beat that kind of deck with Emperez, so I should totally have like a Faust the Great deck in my lineup. And so I went with this one because it had recently performed well and it's really cool. But I don't think it really added anything to my lineup, and I don't have the greatest confidence right now in terms of actually winning competitive games. And actually, I watched Zock's perspective of our match, and he knew that I didn't really like want to play this deck. And so that was sort of like a small advantage for him, where he knew what I was going to play. Even though it didn't, I don't think it ended up factoring into his decision that much between his last two decks. It still could have. But yeah, I don't think I played... Maybe I played this deck once? I don't remember now. Yeah, I think maybe I played it once. But I did not... This deck did not bring me confidence when I was like in that last game and I had the choice between two different decks. I never felt like, oh, I can just play this one and have a good time. So in that sense, I felt like I was locked into my choice in the last game, which I don't want to happen. So I think this deck did not add enough to my lineup because, for one thing, it doesn't have sufficient creature control. It doesn't have sufficient creature control, so one of the problems with Emperez is that, well, the problem that I was having with Emperez was that it only had the Axiom, and so I was losing to decks with lots of capture and stuff. And so the solution to that is not to play a deck of that archetype. The solution is to play a deck with the creature control that can handle the decks that Emperez can't. So if I'm in this last position where I'm choosing between, say my last deck is Emperez and something else, and my opponent is, of course, sporting like two mass mutation mid-range decks, because that's what almost everyone does. So they have two mass mutation mid-range decks with a lot of capture and exalting, and you know Emperez is going to have trouble clearing those boards. Well, Aurora, I mean, it has the Mind Over Matter, but I don't feel like that much more comfortable against it, because I need like the Dark Wave and Mugs and stuff to really clean that stuff up, and that doesn't really come out in the right order every time. So what I need then is a deck with good creature control, basically, is the main thing, and artifact control is nice. So the deck that I was leaning towards was Zuxa, Protruding Market Private, because this was my best performing deck in the KFPL league thing that I was in. KFPL 4, I think. So this deck won the most games in that league, which was probably like the most competitive league I've ever played in, where like every deck was insane. So I think this deck, I have a lot of confidence in this deck compared to Aurora. And this deck has awesome creature control, absolutely awesome creature control with Gateway to Disc, Gleeful Mayhem, Pale Star, and it has awesome Amber control with the Infernus, the double Rad Penny, Old Bruno, Heist Knight. The weakness with this deck is the star lines can be pretty laggy. So like you'll end up like in the late game and you just have a handful of star lines that doesn't do anything. So you need the star lines to come out like sort of early or mid game so that it's not clogging you up in the late game when you need your creature control and amber control. So I was liking this deck, but it doesn't have artifact control. Another interesting... Oh, this was another deck that I think also kind of fits the category. Also another nice thing is the Infernus, right? Because the Infernus is good at breaking up combos, and my other decks actually don't have Infernus. My other deck with Infernus is usually banned. So out of my decks that aren't banned, they don't have Infernus, so that's actually like a good tool that I don't have. So this would add that with the one Infernus here. This also has Infernus, and it has better ways to recur Infernus with the Grim Reminder and Stirring Grave and the Transporter platform. And it has good creature control. The creature control is like not quite as solid because the Savage Clashes have holes, right? Whereas the Gateway to Disses don't. This one just has more clean creature control overall. Whereas this can potentially leave stuff behind. And I think this thing has way better amber control than this deck. Like sometimes with this deck, you feel like you don't have any creature control at all because it's just like, oh, maybe the Pismire doesn't do anything. Or the Pismire just comes out and taxes them at the wrong time and they destroy it, and your Resurgence was played at the first turn, or you don't have the Resurgence in time or something. But this deck is like, it feels like it always has amber control. This deck was a third choice, which I thought was potentially interesting. I think this deck I want to test out some more, but it's really interesting because it has Quixelstone and Eaton's Jar. So you can really use those to like potentially lock out opponents and just stop them from doing anything, you know? So there are some decks that have like one of a card that they try to abuse, and the Eaton's Jar will stop that. Like if a deck has like 4 routine jobs or something, then it can be good against that. And this deck is also good because it has 10 creatures and 19 bonus amber. So you're like always playing the Quixelstone, and you can still like chug along at a okay pace because you have the 19 bonus amber. One thing that is really fun about this deck, since you know your opponent is only going to have like 1 or 2 creatures, is that the good of the many is way better, because if they only have 1 creature, then the creature isn't going to share a trait with anything, so it just blows up. So it's a really effective creature control card in a Quixelstone deck like this. This one also has double Gateway. Just a lot of creature control. Really high creature control stat. It does have a Cartanu, so no hard artifact removal. And so another thing I was doing was like looking. So my stat, right? I was like, oh, I want creature control and maybe artifact control would be nice. So I searched for creature control with a minimum of 15. And put in artifact control of 1.5 because that means it's hard artifact control. And what I got was... Okay, Z Holstein. That's an option, but I'm not going to look at that one today. It might be an option. But one thing that stood out to me... Oh. Huh. Really? Artifacts control. Creature counts. Ah, there we go. Creature control. That changes things. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Z Holstein is still there, but... Oh yeah, so this one. So Beast Pansy... of Enreef. So I've played this one, and like it has like not the greatest win rates. 42. Oh, actually, out of 7 games, that's good because it's only one short. So this is kind of interesting. So if I was looking at this like strictly from a hexad strategy, right? Like what decks are filling the holes that are in my hexad, then it's like I wonder if something like this could even work. My worry with this one though is like it's so like I feel like it might even lean too much into the Maelstrom because it likes doing this thing where you play creatures and then you play the Hawkins in between those creatures and then Unity or Discord the Hawkins and then play them again. Hey, Zoc. Yeah, yeah. So maybe like if this deck is good against mass mutation like mid-range stuff, then this could be a good choice. And then, oh, this one also interested me. This one stuck out because it has Gormavom and actually 23 expected amber and F. And the thing is that I was like, oh wait, this always happens as I look at this deck, and then I realized that the amber controls a Squire Alice and a General Salvador, and I just like lose interest in playing it. Because it's like, geez, you have to be like really, really fast for that to be your amber control. Because that's basically like going to go back to the opponent guaranteed at some point. It's like, I don't know, let's just try a game with this Quixel Stone. Log some games with the Quixel Stone deck. Because I think this deck could be annoying for those mass mutation decks, potentially. Because I have a Quixel Stone. Yeah, 7.5 disruption. That's funny. Yeah, and the Obsidian Forge, like, you can't really use it for key cheating that much because you don't play creatures, but you can use it to, like, blow up your own creatures to enhance the Quixel Stone. And I will keep this because it has the Quixel Stone. I'm going first. Ah, they're playing. Do they have? They have Rustnar. Yeah, so the Rustnars. Well, if I don't have any creatures, then they can't fight, right? So that would be less effective. So unfortunately, I have to discard the Siren Horn. That's one of the things you can run into with this deck is that a bunch of the Amber bonuses are on upgrades, so you need to play like one creature. Okay, let's see. What do I want to? Eaton's Jar, Tao Tao, or I could do the Zenzi. Zenzi might be a good idea. Or Exile. Should I do Exile? They just played the Exile. So let's see here. They already have a creature. How do they blow it up? Let's do Tao Tao. And I'll take the chains to blow that up. So I guess if I was gonna blow up that up, then I could have still chosen Zenzi because that would be annoying if. Let's see here. Star Alliance. It'd be annoying if they just played Zenzi there and had that for a long time. Oh, I got a Subdue. Okay, so let's bring the Subdue up here because I want to play that while there's a creature, but I guess I'm doing this too. See, I could have even used the Hadron Collision on the Sensor Chief Garcia after playing it so that I wouldn't have creatures again. Because now they can play 2 creatures. Well, they could play the Zenzi now. So are they going to play the Zenzi? I could use the Dominator Bauble to fight Garcia into the Zenzi. Oh, that doesn't get rid of Garcia. Because Zenzi's only 4 power. So it takes 5 power to take care of this. No Zenzi. Okay. Let's go Saurian. Oh, and they do Forge. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't looking at that, but I wasn't about to go Star Alliance there. Ooh, Imperial Scutum. I think what I could do here, though, is use the Dominator Bauble to fight the Theros-Centurion, and then I want to Stirring Grave the Garcia. I play... And if I play this stuff... Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, yeah, I mean... Well, my spoils. Darn it. Okay, so I guess doing that did mess me up. Let's see here. Now I just have to discard the spoils. Stupid misclick. Or I guess, yeah, I think I just discard those. Discarding cards. Okay, so now I will do this. I'll blow everything up. When I lost the thing. Oh yeah, but just to plug this again, so we have the stream marathon going on Sunday, starting at 2 a.m. Eastern. Then we have the streams going on all day. Oh, look at me, I'm on check again. Woohoo! What, creatures? I can't play creatures, no. The Zenzi's here. Ah! And they're on check. What do I do? Do I play? Well, I have a Snorette. But that's kind of slow. Do I use the Garcia? I can use this to tax them. And then I put the stunner on the Saurian thingy? Yeah, but I have Starlines coming up, so I might go Starlines again. So I'll put it on Garcia, and then I'll discard these other creatures. So it's like I'm not really stopping them from forging in the end. Well, yeah, what do I do now? Because I can't really play the Snorette. If I Implosion Garcia... Okay, they're on check again. Well, they're at 6. Yeah, I can't play the Snorette. I guess in Star Alliance I have this Observimax, so that could help. They still have the Zenzi, though. I guess I could just wait a turn. Oh, wait, yeah, I have the... Wait, the Obsidian Forge lets me play Snorette because I can destroy the Garcia. Do I want to do that? Wait, yeah. I was confused there for a second, I guess. Has more creatures in play, and I also have the Implosion. Oh, so this could be a decent turn here. Okay, so I go this, and I can chain these together. So, first, what I do is use the... Okay, look at this. Okay, I use the Dominator Bauble. This could be pretty cool. Ooh, I can use this to fight. Do I want to fight and look through my deck, or do I want to reap? Huh. I guess I could have just reaped with the Garcia and taken them out, and that would have taxed, but it doesn't matter, really. Okay, let's just reap with this. And then use the Obsidian Forge to get the Garcia, which lets me play the Bone Saw ready. And then, oh, I can actually use... No, I'm going to use the Implosion on that, so I don't need to do that. Reap with this, and then I Implosion the Bone Saw and the Zenzi, and then I can't play the Snorette. Okay, that was the problem with that line. All right. Now I figured it out. Okay. But we're at 4 Amber. Is 4 Amber enough? Well, it's not like I'm getting to check. Oh, I can with Saurian. I can reap and play the Chant of Hubris. Ooh, they're discarding. They're discarding wolves because they don't want me to fight. Well, now I just do the Chant of Hubris and reap and discard. Now I'm on check. Ooh. They have Saurian with an Odawak. Gasp. Let's go Saurian again, because what I'm going to do is fight. And then spoils a battle. Yay! The Ezen of Tinder Farm. Quixel Stone Extraordinaire. Choked him out. Ah! Ah! You can't do anything. No creatures. No Tau Tau vapors. Nothing. Nothing. Hey, Kutzer. Alright. Yeah. Is that deck the sixth deck to round out the Hexad? Does it go onto the shelf? The Hexad shelf. Because it's the end of the season, you know. I think maybe... No, Aurora. I think Aurora. I have to boot you. I have to boot you from the shelf, the Hexad shelf. It's a sad day. Maybe one day you'll return. But at this time, another must take your place. Bummer. Yeah, it's a big bummer. But another deck's gonna get a deck book. Oh, wait. Let's see here. Oh, the cat. It's a hungry cat. The cat wants more food. Oh, so, you know, one of the points, though, that was actually relevant about the Hexad, though, is I was saying that my deck, Perez, was having trouble against decks with Capture and Exalting because it only had the Axiom of Grisk. And if I, with my sixth deck that has good creature control, I don't want it to be a deck that just has Axiom of Grisk, right? Because the point is to have something with different creature control. Is it in here? I guess it's not in here. Where is it now? Where is it? I'm getting closer. It's in here somewhere. Yeah. Zuxa protruding market private. It might get a deck book. Oh hey. I guess let's play Am I Bluffin' with Zuxa here. I think I can mulligan that. Although the 2 Stealthsters at the beginning. Let's see here. The blast shielding doesn't go onto anything, so it looks like I'm... Okay, so just getting some cards out, discarding the first gateway, and drawing the second one immediately, which isn't ideal, I suppose. But that's why this deck is cool, right? Because it has 2 gateways. 2 gateways is nice, right? Oh! Look at this. Something for the blast shielding. Oh, and I'm gonna... Stunning it. It's okay. Who needs a Stealthster? Perfect. Perfect. Do 23 damage to it. So now, old Bruno, look over there. Look over there wouldn't steal anything. So let's just go with this red alert. Okay, so more stealing up. They have 3 amber. So let's see how high they go. Oh, no! Oh. Mark of this. Okay. Yeah, I didn't look at their deck. Oh, they're playing something like good. They're playing some good deck. Yikes. Oh no. Ah, oh, crud. Now they get to forge. I needed that amber. Discarding the Stealthster would have been better. Sloppy lab work and eclectic. They have 4 in the archives now. Well, I am going shadows. And with this deck, I don't think you want to hold amber control like an old Bruno, because you're always trying to get through the deck and get to more amber control because the deck has plenty of that, hopefully. Oh no! Another market disc. Fortunately, this one doesn't hurt me quite as bad. The Heist Knight would have been pretty cool. Not getting that, but I do steal an amber and get to check again, so not the worst mark of this turn. And it looks like I'll go disc to follow up this gateway, though. It looks like they don't have many creatures. Wow. But now that they've played a Citizen Shrix, it could just be worth it to do that. Ooh. Whoa, the Humble. The Humble. Jeez. Okay. Well. Still disc time. And gonna destroy everything. Destroy everything. Reduce their hand size by 1. They discard Fission Bloom. Doesn't really matter. Snorettes. It has a capture bonus on it, which is pretty cool. Ooh, they had a bunch of artifacts in their hand that turn. Ah, but they got one with the Lethalogica. They discarded Cinder, Library, Blast from the Past. Okay, so with this, well, the keys cost 9 now. Well, it's like that could be good for me because of my amber control. I think I want to go... well, I want to dump the amber here, but let's see. I'll go Star Alliance to get the Star Alliance out of my hand. And I could play Rad Penny or this Techno Thief. I'll play the Rad Penny. Just more stealing. Eden Star. Did they stop Mark of Dis? No, they stopped Rat Penny. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, and I do lose my Snorette. No. Uh-oh. This is bad. Hold on, is the other... Oh, they're reshuffling. Alright, let's just get rid of the Shan. I don't want to get locked into Starlines. Okay, well, at least I can mark up this. Did they fight the Snorette? Well, they have something in the archives that they wanted. And there is the Mark of Dis. Yikes. full key behinds. They're about to forge their second, and the discombobulator stops the Umbra Fiend from doing anything. It's not looking good. GG. Rematch? That looks like a pretty good starting hand. 5 Starlines creatures? Haha. Zuxa loves that kind of starting turn, especially just because it gets the Starlines out of the hand, out of the deck. Let's see, do they... Oh, okay, so they don't get to board wipe me. That's good. Whoa! More Starlines? Jeez. Ha. Oh, geez. Wait. Can I use this stuff? What happened? Oh, I can't reap with it. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Can I... I'll go with the Rad Penny. Okay, so do they have... Yeah, okay. So now I'm locked into Starlines and can't do anything. This time I feel a little less bad about it because I had such a great start there. Got to use the board rather well. Okay. So can I pull it through here with the rest of the deck? They have this Cronus Professor Torado thing going on. Let's see. Each undamaged creature captures 2, so I do that after playing stuff. I can at least... Okay, I can lock them into them and... do all this good stuff. Oh, let's just get rid of both marks. Ah, and Pandemonium with the Snorret. Let's go, Zuxa. Oh, okay, and they get a good follow-up turn with Logos there. Wow, look at this. 742,496 for the game found ticker. That's a lot. Okay, so let's go Dis here. Double Doom the Torado. They discard a Library Polysaurus, and we'll just do the Snorret action. So that gets rid of the Discombobulator. So the Shadows look over there can steal. Okay. What do they stop with Eaton's Jar? Brad Penny, Bowknifing. Okay, Rad Penny. Sure. And Infernus. Jeez. You know, I don't think Am I Bluffin' plays Triad. Or I mean, Hexad, I mean. But I think this, like, I wonder if this is one of their Triad decks, you know? That they would play in ABR. So no Rad Pennies. So both of these are dead. Oh, geez. Yeah, so I'll go Shadows. Because the game is still, like, kind of even so far. Heh. Well, hey, at least if you, like, discard them, you don't have to play them again. Or you don't have to draw them again. But yeah, now I can go Dis and... Ooh, Heist Knight. Oh, Heist Knight. Yeah. Boom. Steal a bunch of amber. Let's go. Oh, yeah, these are, yeah, swap, NKFL swap candidates, yeah. Oh, and I draw a card of Professor Torado. And I'm going to discard my extra gateway to Dis. Yes. And play a Vandalize. Yeah. Okay, get rid of the Humble because they, like, messing with that, I think. Okay, now I take out the Torado and I take out The bot booked in. Yes! The Hidden Shadows turn. I almost didn't take that, but the one Heist Knights in hand, stealing 3 amber. Whoa, look at all these artifacts. So how many creatures do they have? Like 12? Now what? What's the draw? That kind of matters. 2 Dis, 2 Shadows. I mean, I guess I go Dis here. I can draw. Ooh, Gleeful Mayhem. Yeah, hold on. I don't need to play this gateway. Yeah, don't need to play the gateway. Let's go. Yes. The Discum Bob. Ooh, my Techno Thief. Ooh, now they have 8 amber. And a Citizen to Strix. Citizen Strix. One, two, three. Oh, they have marks of dis, right? No, I purged them. I purged them. Ha 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 ha. Purged. Pale Star. Pale Star takes out the Strix. Yes. Damage Pips and Pale Star. Oh, yeah. This deck is just so smooth. I love how it destroys things. Whoa, what's this? Sloppy lab work. Ah, Fission Bloomed it. Okay. So we got an extra one. No! They're at 6 amber. What? Well, do I steal 2 and do I steal 3 and play a Miasma Bomb? Or do I go dis and deploy the Snarette? Deploy the Snarette! Nothing in their discard. Just a survey in mine. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? Shadows or dis? Shadows or dis? Ah, that doesn't bring me to check. 1, 2, 3. That doesn't bring me to check either. Okay, shadows is more cards, right? Yeah, got the Miasma Bomb. Heist Night! I don't have enough thieves yet. Oh, yes. The big heist night. Let's go. Come on. Will it work? Will it work? I could have even like put the bow knifing next to the cinder to protect it for the heist night maybe. That would have been like ultra brain. It turns out I don't have ultra brain though, so I don't usually do the ultra brain plays. Yeah, they don't want to kill it. In one deck I have, though, it has... What is it? Yeah, it has bow knifing. And I want to recur the bow knifings with Lost in the Woods. And with that deck, I do actually put the bow knifings behind taunts. Because I don't want my opponents fighting them off before I can Lost in the Woods them. Because in that case, I think my opponents recognize that I'm trying to recur them with Lost in the Woods because they're smart. They're smart people. They understand what I'm trying to do. But this deck doesn't really have a way of recurring the bow knifing. It's just like another... It's just another tool in the endless line of Amber control tools. Spoils of battle! And they're back on the check. But here we go with this. Yeah, we're going to go this. Oh, but I can also go Star Alliance and use the Commander Chan. Ooh, should I do that? Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Okay, we're doing it. Yeah, we're going to play more cards. More cards. Yeah! Yeah! Let's go! No! Gateway! Oh, but can I survive? Will I survive? I can't play the Rad Penny. The Rad Penny's dead, but I have a Snurret and an Infernus. Oh, Snurret and Infernus. What? Dude? The clutch disconnect and reconnect. Anguish. Ah! Waking Nightmare. Oh, it's the Waking Nightmare. Oh, no! Oh. Oh, they did it. Oh, no. No. Aw, shucks. They did it. Wow. They outdissed me. Oh, miasma bomb. Whoops. Hey, hey, you know, it just would have stopped him, right? It wouldn't have stopped him, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I could have done that, I guess. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. Zuxa! Well, actually, that was an 0-2, so it lost twice there. But that was a pretty good deck, you know. That was a pretty good deck. So... Yeah, the A. The A is big. Oh, yeah, and I got that big Heist Knight. Oh, big Heist Knights are great. All right, time to bully this person with my Quixelstone deck. Oh, it's not the Tinder. It's the Essen of Tinder Farm. I keep getting that mixed up. It's not the Tinder of Essen Farm. It's the Essen of Tinder Farm. What is this? Creatures? Oh, no, I didn't mulligan into my... I didn't mulligan into my Quixelstone. No. Ah, the inflated A values. Huh. Good of the many! Ooh, I can Spoils a Battle onto the Snorettes. Yes, fancy, fancy. Is it really? That's funny. It's so powerful. Yeah, you know, it looked like effective power was more about defense than offense? Is that like kind of accurate? Because it's like if you have elusive, that means your effective power is bigger. No, the guard disguise. Don't do it. Don't do the guard disguise. No. Yeah. How do you not play into guard disguise though? All right, Lion. Free markets. Aha! But look, I don't have a Quixelstone, and so I can play creatures. I can play creatures. So go, Garcia. Tax them. Yeah, the guard disguise. They took hostages and played the board den. Going Starlines again. Because I have creatures and cards. Creatures and cards. Oh, and look at this, though. Isn't this... I have blast shielding with a damage, and I can use the Tink to use the Hystricog. Whoa. Do I do it? Is that even useful? Is it even useful? I don't know, and I'm gonna do it. Destroy that elusive. It's a combo. It's like something. Oh, and I'm gonna keep going, Star Alliance! The Garcia. This Garcia value. Let's go, Garcia. Yeah. Star Alliance again. Sweet. Oh, and Cartanu can use the... Oh, and I can get the Boutrum this time. Okay, we're going to keep using the actions. Action into action. We're action chaining. Okay. And we're going to use Cartanu to use the World Tree, which I don't have any creatures in my discard or something. I don't have a single creature in my discard, so that didn't do anything. Okay. It's fine. They forge, but they're paying 8. And I'm at 8 amber. Wow. Oh, they have too much to protect. Darn it. Oh, but they stole it with Ronnie? So they didn't have the too much to protect? I totally lucked out there. I'm too used to playing against Mass Mutation with no Scaling Amber control. And did not think of that. How could I not think of that? Discarding a gateway feels good. Discombobulator. Ping the Knuckles Bolton. Knuckles Bolton. This time, I'm not going to use the action because Knuckles isn't worth it. And ooh. I mean, I guess Cartana is the least useful. I don't really want to get rid of my creatures, though. Yeah. 9 effective power. It has been taken care of. Oh, look at this. This has 9 power. Hey, you know, I bet does like Tentadlin have lower effective power than Knuckles Bolton? No, it wouldn't. I don't really want to go sorry in here, but there's just so many cards in hands that it seems like I should just do it. Don't want Quintina. I can damage. Yeah, I guess I want to... Okay, so I do a damage to the Tentadlin, and I exalt to get rid of the Grove Keeper. And now the Sagittarius Gaze can exalt the Tentadlin. And I have the Curse of Vanity, so I will exalt the... I could just say the tank. The tank because I have a Sucker Punch. I'll just do it on the on the Saurus because I'm going to put the Siren Horn on that. This is the most amount of creatures this deck has ever played. Oh, so it might actually have lower effective power. Okay. And now, here we go. What do we do? Dis or Star Alliance? Ooh, with Dis. Ooh. Oh, free markets. I can stop them from playing free markets. Do I do that? Or do I stop them from playing Full Moon? Ooh. Or too much to protect? Too much to protect? Yeah. Oh. Too much to protect. Let's go. Get out of here, Tintadlin. Get out of here. Dump the Amber. Use the Dominator Bauble to use the Lycosaurus to fight the Ronnie using the Siren Horn to distribute the Amber and then playing the Bonesaw. Too much to protect. Disabled. Is the Ezen of Tinder Farm doing it again? Is this deck doing it again? Quick reminder, we got the stream marathon on September 25th, an epic 24-hour marathon with all these people. So many streams. So many hours. Oh, they captured my Amber with the Gatekeeper. Grr. Grr, you can't stop me. You can't stop me anymore. I have too much momentum. Too much momentum. How do I do this? Ooh, use the Dominator Bauble to use the Lycosaurus. And then I can use the Lycosaurus to fight the Gatekeeper. And then I can use the Hystricog to finish off the Gatekeeper. Yeah. And now... No, they had a doorstep to heaven. What am I doing? Oh. Oh. All right. It's okay. It's okay. Jeez, man. I guess I wasn't gonna sacrifice everything. I wasn't gonna sacrifice it all. Let's put a stunner on what? The Lycosaurus? Just use a better creature. You don't have to use tank. Use a better creature. And for once, I'm discarding the Quixel Stone because how in a 10 creature deck I have the board advantage, I don't know, but it's happening. Please don't let me be punished by my sloppy play. The Radiant Truth. Could the Radiant Truth hurt me? I am forging, though. I continue forward. I continue forward. Yeah, this deck does have high C. Yep, that is true. Saurian. Saurian, go! Oh, what is this? What is this? Ooh. Ooh. It's like there's just so much to capture. Dang. Just go. Ooh. Another spoils of battle? Oh, a siren horn. Another siren horn. Yeah, let's go. Putting Lay of the Land on the bottom of the deck is actually a terrible move. Oh, let's go. Turns out this deck can do things with creatures too when it wants. Wow. Siren Horn goodness. I forgot this deck had 2 Siren Horns. Because there's another deck I have, I think, that has Deus Illis and 2 Siren Horns, which is funny. I win! Yay! Oh. GGG. Alright. Huh. Cool. Siren Horn. Yeah. So far, the Essen of Tinder Farm, is it outperforming Zuxa, the KFPL star? Zuxa going 0-2 against Am I Bluffin's monster deck, and the Essen of Tinder Farm just destroying 2 helpless people? Whoa. What is going on with this deck? The Essen with 6-9, currently boasting a 66% win rate. Zuxa. With many games in the top echelon. The top echelon of play. Getting a 40%. Pretty respectable, to be honest, I think. And this deck was another one that's cool. Because it has these like key sheets, right? So it has Obsidian Forge and KeyFrog. So like one thing that I wanted to be able to do someday is forge 2 keys in one turn with KeyFrog and Obsidian Forge. But now this deck. What's this deck gonna do? Oh, geez. What's this? Anchovies? Anchovies Labor Gardens Techie? Absolute top tier name. Oh, and it's got a Maverick Booby Trap. Oh, that is awesome. Booby Trap is so good. And okay, what is this nonsense going on? Don't make me whip out the Gleeful Mayhem. Or what is better? I think Untamed is better here. Because I'm going to Savage Clash, leaving the Bonesaw. And then I Rapid Evolution. I don't need to Rapid Evolution first. First, I Ghost Hawk. Whoa, look at me go! 7 Amber? 11 Power Secure Droid? How's that for a good start? Like, how am I at 7 Amber already? What? The Commune, that was it. Yeah, the Commune. Oh, they disconnected. They disconnected. Come back to me, Min. Come back. Come back. No. No, don't leave, Min. Don't leave. I don't think this is a serial rage quitter that I am aware of, so I don't think it's that kind of situation. At least I would not assume it. The Essen of Tinder Farm with the Quixel Stone and the Eaton's Jar and the 19 bonus Amber. Could that deck be the 6th deck? Could it be? It does things no other deck does. How could it? How could it have such a dominating board presence that one game? It does have the good creature control, yeah. Wow, they're not coming back, are they? They're not coming back? Don't make me put you on my ban list. I don't want to. Alright, I guess they're not coming back. Rickster! It's the Rickster! I have an alt account specifically for this situation. I don't have the commune this time. Darn it. But look at this. I have the transporter platform. So I have a transporter platform and a droid and a stunner. So I can gain 2 amber next turn. Whoa. 2 amber. Can you believe it? And they don't have artifact control. They don't have artifact control. A cool looking deck here, though. Got a bunch of creatures with double city-state interest. And Primus Unguis. Oh, it's a Primus Unguis Tribune Pompatus deck. That is cool. That is cool. One of my NKFL decks is Tribune Pompatus Primus Unguis. Hadron Collision through the... Perfect! Hadron Collision! Sneak it in between the bounce. Go bounce, boom, bounce. Oh yeah, Primus Unguis. And it's got the Ancient Power. This deck looks like it has some powerhouse things going on here. Yeah, the no pip Hadron Collision. It's fine. It's fine. Huh. What now? What now? Do I continue bouncing? I can bounce and play things. Yep. Yep. Right. Okay, so I play... I could play Kirby twice. That might be better than playing Secure Droid twice. Or playing Secure Droid again. Okay. Yeah. It is efficiency time. It's efficiency time. Okay, so Kirby capture here. Oh, wait. Play a card. Oh, okay, let's play a Flumph, right? You play the Flumph. And then bounce the Kirby. And then play the Kirby over here. And capture onto the Flumph. And then play Cinder. Playing cards. With 1 card. 1 card played 3 cards. Or 1 card played 2 cards for a total of 3 cards. Good stuff. Phalanx. Haha, they get the Flumph. I don't care about Flumph at all. Uh-oh, city state. Well, there's no Primus Unguis yet. And that's a lot of gaining. Amber gaining. I could keep gaining Amber. Do they have a Ludo? No. There's a Scudam, though. Do I use the Savage Clash now? Because I could keep going Star Alliance. Oh, I don't know. I guess this doesn't really matter. Weird turn, but I get to check. Okay, Sensor Chief Garcia, sure. Huh. Four creatures. Pismire and Drecker. That's annoying. I want them both. These are my good cards. Alright, I'll discard the Drecker because I think I need the taxing perhaps. Oh, and I don't need to play two different creatures out of house. So that means that I can bounce the Teleporter Chief Tink instead with the Amber bonus. Good, good, good. Well, I guess the commune is kind of missing right now, but that's okay. That's okay. Starlines again? Ah. Dis? Untamed? Whoa! Oh no! Okay, well I still have a second Savage Clash. Somewhere. Huh. Well, the Kami did a little thing there because they stole with Kincan. Oh, and an ancient power. Rickster is beating me up. Oh, Dark Minion. Dark Minion to the rescue. Just discard the Grim Reminder, but I put the KeyFrog in the archive for the sneaky Obsidian Forge KeyFrog play, which isn't going to happen, but maybe. Ooh, I could do Dark Minion, Implosion the Dark Minion? Wait, no, I have a Savage Clash. Hold on, does that work? No. Because the Dark Minion would do 1 damage after all of the wards had been removed by Savage Clash. Yeesh. That's a lot of creatures. A lot of Star Alliance creatures. That's a good board. It's a pretty good board. I forge! It looks like I don't have any options. Let's see. This can... I guess it does like a damage here. And then this reaps. And then implosion, I guess. Oh, but now I get to Savage Clash and get all this amber back. Whoa! Hold on, hold on. There's no way I can win this, can I? What if... Can I Savage Clash the KeyFrog? Oh, I don't get the amber back in time. Oh, man. It doesn't work. Oh, that would have been cool, though. I can't win this, can I? Or what if I do? Hold on, hold on. Oh, hold on. Wait, 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 wait. Get the 3 back. Get these. Ghost Talk. Yes! Oh! Yes! The KeyFrog! Oh! The KeyFrog! The KeyFrog! The KeyFrog! KeyFrog Savage Clash. Wow. It actually gained enough amber. Can't believe it. Yeah. On Sunday, we have the 24-hour Twitch stream marathon. All day Sunday. I'm going to be on 4 p.m. Eastern. And Fudginator in the chat here is going to be right here. Fudginator. Oh, we got Jolkar Reap 4 times, play 2 pips, Savage Clash, that's 6. Oh yeah. Well, that was a good game to end the stream on. I will end it there. Thank you everyone for joining. That was a lot of fun. Got to play some of those NKFL candidates. And geez, they're all good. Zuxa actually the one that I favored the most was losing to Am I Bluffin'? But that's okay. Am I Bluffin' was playing a really good deck. But geez, those other 2 decks though. Those were tempting. The Essen of Tinder Farm with the Quixelstone, Eaton's Jar, locking out opponents ruthlessly. Ruthlessly! And then the Sultan with its amber bonuses and key cheats. Sneaky plays. Yeah. Good night, everyone. See you next time.